Because, first off, people might not have Twitter, so instantly that puts them people out of the whole kind of go and all that. And yeah, so I basically just want to say what I meant on Twitter last night, because I feel like some people might either need... I'm not playing that mode. Boss team vanquish? Nope. No thanks. And I guess I just want to say what I meant, because not only will some not have social media or something, I mean, it just instantly makes it harder for them people to basically understand what I meant. Now, I'll read the full tweet that I put out, because I didn't really go into much detail then about it. I literally put... So I've just seen the video that Wolfie Plays put out with his issues on PvZ, and I just basically said, honestly, it outlines some issues I have. I just said, you know, I know my channel's considerably smaller than his, because he has like 1 million. But it's also one of them where it's like, it doesn't really matter, because especially like the targeting, sometimes you don't even need a channel to be able to be the victim of a target. And I'll be the first to say, yes, I've done it, or yes, I've both been the one to target and been a target, or been on the receiving end of a target. But, and then he started to outline, you know, some of the reasons, which is probably the most interesting bit of it all, because he put it down to 3 things, being salt, or if you don't know what that means, basically you kill someone once, then they don't leave you alone for the rest of the game. They're just completely oblivious to the fact that they're doing it, or they know they're doing it and they're just trying to make the game healthy. That's the 3 things he put it down to. And granted, I've not had it, you know, where they know they're doing it, but I've had the other 2 before. Or, you know, I've had the other 2 before now, and it's especially in BFN that the salt happens. You know, where you kill someone once, then they make it their life and job to pretty much target you for the rest of the game, and no one else. And I've had that in this game many a time. I'll say now, I've done it. I will be the first to say I've done it. Like, granted, you know, it was one of them where I was like, I don't really, yeah. I mean, I didn't want to say, you know, I did it because I just didn't care. You know, it was also one of them where I was like, never knew AI could run off there. It was kind of one of them where it was like, at the end of the day, it doesn't improve the game for anyone. Because I've been on both ends of it. It's not fun to do, and it's not fun to be on the receiving end. of. That I can pretty much confirm. You know, it's not fun to be on either end. But, you know, people still do it. And end of the day, it does kind of just suck the fun out of the game. So, yeah. I mean, that's probably my biggest issue, like, I say biggest issue with this game. I mean, there's many issues with this game, with BFM in general. The freaky, collisions bug. Yeah, it's one of them where it's like, don't get me wrong, there are probably more issues to be had with BFM than there are issues to be had with the other two PvZ shooters. That's kind of easily said at this point, because well, that and it is basically facts. You know, this game is probably, or is the most hated PvZ shooter. It's one of them where you can basically say that as a fact. This one has been the one that has been, you know, I'd probably say this game has been the one that's been, you know, the worst received out of any of the three PvZ shooters, you know, by the PvZ kind of fan base. And I think I'm gonna go back to kind of quote his video again, because, you know, Wolfie even said, you know, Garden Warfare 1 did stuff right, and Garden Warfare 2 basically, oh, hang on. There. No, I've lost me. You know, he did go on to say, you know, Garden Warfare 1 did stuff right, and then Garden Warfare 2 basically took what Garden Warfare 2 did right, and then improved on what it did wrong. Which it did. And that's what made Garden Warfare 2 so good. It took what Garden Warfare 1 had and improved on what it didn't do right. And then you added a few more classes in and all that. And yeah, then this game seemed to just take all that and pretty much ignore what Garden Warfare 2 did right. Because I'm pretty sure Garden Warfare 2, across the board, was one of the most well-received PvZ games, you know, in the 2010s. And that's not even saying, you know, that, like, we had, like, only a few. Because we didn't. Like, I'm pretty, like, we had most of the PvZ games. In fact, we had, like, almost all of them. Apart from the first one. You know, because, I mean, after all, the franchise did only start in 2009. But even still, like, for saying the games that we got for this franchise, or for the PvZ franchise, you can easily say BFN's the one that was least well received. yeah, it's pretty obvious. Man, because, yeah, it didn't last long with some people. Like Lewis, for example, he lasted, what, 3 weeks? Not even that. Because I'm pretty sure I got... Oh no, sorry, he did last 3 weeks, because he went to... You know, he lasted 3 weeks, like, full on playing the game. And then... Yeah, he went to Turkey, came back, and he decided, you know, he's not going to play it. And I honestly kind of see where he's coming from on that. Like, yeah, this game has had its ups and downs, but at the same time, it's one of them of, you know, I wouldn't say I try to defend them whenever they update this game, but I do, because things when they update this game, it does seem like they try and either introduce something and they break, or, you know, they try and improve something and then break like three other things. Like when Ranked Battle Arena came in, like people, like, I know Wolfie was saying in his video yesterday, he said that should have been in from the start, not from, you know, 6 months from when the game came out, because if anything, that just made people not want to play it. You know, because Battle Arena is, you know, the competitive game mode in this game. And, you know, and then he started comparing it to, you know, like starting the Premier League season and then not counting the points for half the season. And then, I don't know this, but apparently as well, if you're 3, you know, like if you start a game and you're on the winning, or if you start a game and you're on one team and someone drops out, say for example when you're like 3-0 up, that game doesn't count. And apparently 70% of the games someone drops out, which just isn't, which probably, you know, doesn't make it fun, because, you know, you need, what is it, like 5 matches a rank, so in other words you could be stuck in upwards of 50 matches, hell, upwards of 500 matches if you get that unlucky. That's probably, you know, say probably, that's the biggest issue. That's honestly why I don't tend to play this game off camera, because I know if I play this game too much off camera, I'll drain myself out of it, because this game and its issues have probably made it the one PvZ game I enjoyed the least. Now don't get me wrong, you know, you had stuff like PvZ Heroes, which, from what I remember, PvZ Heroes wasn't received terribly. What didn't help that game was the fact that when it released, it was basically out of nowhere support ended. That, from memory, that's what didn't help that game. The fact that out of nowhere support had ended for that game. And, like, that game came out in, what, 2016? If I remember correctly. So, you know, same year as Garden Warfare 2. And granted, in 2017, nothing happened with Garden Warfare 2 either. But that's, you know, that was, like, Garden Warfare 2 is a, you know, a considerably sized console game. You're obviously, you know, you're going to get people to play it way down the line. You know, you're going to have your people that, hell, I did it. You're going to have people that will, you know, grind off the game. And I did it. I will be the first to say that I did it. Because it's true, I did do it. I sat here pretty much every day and grinded off Garden Warfare 2. Because I saw that max rank in sight, and that's what I wanted. Because I knew, you know, you got a reward for getting to max rank in Garden Warfare 2. Garden Warfare 1 and Garden Warfare 2. And I didn't want this game to come out and discover, you know, you can get a reward for getting to max rank in Garden Warfare 2. And it gets to the point as well where I'm nowhere near max rank and I have to beeline like 20,000, like 2000 rank. Like, you know, a lot of like 200 ranks. Hell, I didn't want it to get to the point where I had to beeline for 20,000 ranks. Or 2,000 ranks. That's what I was trying to steer away from. Having the thing of, you know, I have to, you know, beeline past 2,000 ranks because, you know, I haven't played Garden Warfare 2 and, you know, I didn't. The point I didn't want it to get to was I played too much of this game, because that's the other thing as well with this game. I feel like this game, I don't want to say it was overestimated, but what did he die by? You know, I don't want to say this game was overestimated, but it was. Because that's the other thing with this game as well. Most people, I'll admit I did it as well. When this game was announced, everyone, I'm pretty sure, basically was assuming that, you know, they do the same as they did for Garden Warfare 2, which is take Garden Warfare 1 and improve upon it. Yeah, they didn't. They just didn't. They did not take Garden Warfare 1 and Garden Warfare 2 and improve upon it for this game. Hi chat. You've joined me mid-rant. You know, it's... I don't want to say it's upsetting, but it is, because it feels like a massive backpedal compared to the other PvZ shooters. Because that is essentially what it does feel like. A massive backpedal. I'd get chat up, but apparently I'm still connected to my Xbox. Yeah, hi chat. Now I can actually see it. But in the end of the day, that is what it feels like. A massive backpedal. That's what this game does feel like. A massive backpedal. Compared to the others. I need to stop hitting the trigger every time I want to fire. I need 68. Right. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Muppet. But yeah, this game... I think that's the other thing with this game. Everyone overestimated it. It does not feel like an improvement to Garden Warfare 2. It just feels like a backpedal on it. What are you firing at? That's probably the biggest issue. And it's one of them where, you know, this game had potential. It's had so many points in time where it can improve. Like December, it could have improved then. You know, there have been quite a few points in this game's life. I mean, granted, this game still has life in it, but you know, there's been points in this game's life where it can improve. That's the last thing I need when I'm retreating for health. But, you know, this game's had so many points now where it could have improved, and it's kind of got to the point now where it's more of a thing now of how long is it going to take. Because don't get me wrong, like, I could happily sit here and grind for this prize map because, you know, I enjoy doing it for YouTube. I'll be the first to say, oh, you know, I need to stop saying that. You know, it's something I will, the bane of my life. It just wouldn't be a PvZ related stream if you didn't show up. Go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. Go away, 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 go away. I hate you in the speedrun and Garden Warfare 2. I still hate you now. Thank you. I know it's an AI, but I don't care. The amount of times that I felt like I'm gonna fail a speedrun because of that flower. I'm having that one teabag. Well, Pickle Rick, get back in Rick and Morty. Actually, yeah, feel free to. Mate, I'm gonna roll killing all these bosses. But yeah, like in December when the prize maps first came out, felt like, you know, or was the first opportunity that, you know, these games had for improvement, or this game had for improvement, and it blew it. You know, it's got to the point now where it's like the dialogue and all that is like, yeah, alright, fine, some of the dialogue is funny and, you know, is either useful or just plain old funny for either having to go at people or you have to be kidding me. You know, where it's got to the point now where the dialogue's funny or it's good for having a go at people if you want to use it that way. But it's also got to the point now where the costumes... I've never really been into the costumes in this game. I'll say that. I've never been really into the costumes.